Hey peeps, it's Androcon. Today we're going to do some basic beekeeping. The Forestry mod has a really interesting set of stuff in it. For instance, beekeeping, apiaries, and all this stuff. And you can get a bunch of neat stuff out of it. But to get started, you're going to need some special tools. I'm going to go ahead and show you something I found out about this particular project table. If you got indigo dye from indigo flowers and a piece of paper, you can make blank plans. And if you stick that right there and then put in a recipe here, you can store the recipe for later, which is quite nice. And first thing you're going to need is a scoop. So if you wanted to save the recipe, just click on this thing right here and go and pull this thing out. And even though I don't have anything in this area, it kept the plan there. You can see it kind of like ghosted in. And you could pull out another one here if you wanted, just like that. And if you don't have all the stuff in there to do it, something will turn red. There's some other things you're going to need too. For instance, a sturdy casing. You're going to need a couple of these. And they're going to be needed for squeezers, which are, see, these are just tin ingots and glass. Oh, and that casing's made out of bronze, by the way. And it needs a casing as well. And a centrifuge, and use a casing, and some copper and glass. And one other thing you're going to need is a beealyzer. That's just made in the carpenter with tin, glass panes, a diamond, a couple redstone. Takes a while to make, but I went ahead and made one right here. I set up a shop over here in town. This is the old apiarist's hut. And I went ahead and put all this stuff in here. This is the carpenter, and there's the squeezer, and there's a centrifuge. I just got a spare carpenter because you're going to need one. And I got it powered by a biogas engine. I recently had some chili, so I should be able to, keep this thing running with all my gas for some time. So you're going to have to start with a squeezer, which takes a whole bunch of seeds. This is just wheat seeds, pretty much. And I'm going to turn this thing on and let it fire itself up. And it'll take these seeds and squeeze the crap out of them and give you a little bit of seed oil. And you got to have this to make an apiary. It's also used to make the, let's see, these things right here, these impregnated frames. So you're probably going to need a good bit of this stuff, especially if you want a large amount of apiaries and stuff running. So you're going to have to get some of the seed oil out, but a bucket won't do the trick. You have to use, well, at least, here's one thing you can use. You can use cans, or you can pipe the stuff out too. That works pretty good. So throw in a can. It's just made with 3 pieces of tin. It gives you 12 cans. And this will give you some seed oil, and I'm just going to get a handful of these real quick right there. Then I'm going to go over here to a carpenter. Now this is a second carpenter, and the reason why I made it is because it's empty. I do not have this thing filled up with water. So I'm going to put the seed oil can right here, and it'll fill up with seed oil. Now first thing you're going to need is these impregnated casing things right here, and it's just made with a recipe of logs of any kind. 8 of them right here. And as long as you got your logs down here, it'll start working and do its thing. And it just takes a moment to push its way through here, and it'll be alright. And it'll give you a casing. And there's my casing. I'm going to go ahead and stop this because I only want one. And next, you're going to need to build just pretty much a frame around it out of wood. It's pretty simple. Takes 8 pieces of wood. I think actually it might take a couple, well, not quite wood. Okay, I need some of these here. Wood first slabs, actually just any kind of wood slab. Done like this. Slabs on the top and wood around the bottom and side, and your impregnated casing in the middle, and you got an apiary. Your other option is you can find a village, and they usually have some in it. Oftentimes a bunch of them. Well, at least 2 if they've got an apiary house. And if you happen to find an apiarist, which my village appears to have one just in baby form sitting right here. He's got yellow on, so I can't really do anything with that guy. Sometimes they will sell you an apiary for a bit. They'll also sell you like general bee supplies, like proven frames and things. So this is the apiary, and you're probably going to want some flowers around it, at least if you're in, just a forest or plains biome or something. And pretty much just surround the thing with flowers, just like this, all the way around, which, it helps. So I got 4 of them sitting here, ready to go, and next I just gotta go grab some bees. Now for the quest to find some bees. Usually they spawn in about every biome, and they're often all over the place. So here's a couple hives I got right here, and you're going to need a scoop to collect these things. So just smack the thing around with a scoop. And these are forest ones, so that's pretty cool. Right here is a marble hive, and sometimes they give you other things. Like I got a valiant princess and a marbled drone here. So you can get some special bees out of these kind of randomly. And another thing I'm definitely going to want is a this beehive over here. This one I believe to be a plains. Let's check that. Meadows, yeah, that'll work. And you can get honeycomb out of these too. It's often easier to find hives at night because they glow in the dark. This one I could not find during the day since it's hiding under the tree in a very dense jungle. I think this is a jungle set. Yeah, give me a tropical princess. It's pretty much the jungle bees. And I also need to get drones for it because it only dropped me a princess. Out here in the beautiful Minecraftian desert, we've got a hive for pretty much the desert hive, more or less. And let's see what we got. Modest. Gives you modest drones and princesses. Okay, strange name, but okay. Out here in the glacier, I found some wintry bees right on the edge here. And the weird thing about these guys is even though they spawned in this glacier, they won't live in the glacier. They have to have Tiaga. If you've collected all of the bees I've got so far, you got enough to get started. So let's go ahead and get going with that. So here's all my apiaries. I got a bunch of them set up here. And if you want to go ahead and get one of these going, you just take a, let's start with the forest princess and a forest drone. Princess goes in the top slot, drone in the bottom here, and this is pretty much the bar saying, hey, this lady's got some life and is ready to start producing some things. Over here you got some other tabs. This one will tell you the current temperature and humidity climate that the bee would accept, and currently, since this area is appropriate, everything's normal. This will give you some extra tips, and pretty much some special foods and things can be made from honey and bee products. Now, over here is where she would drop off like extra princesses and drones and beeswax and combs and things. Over here we got 3 empty slots, so we're going to fill. Those take these frames of different sorts, and there's quite a few different frames you can put in there, and they give special bonuses and things. So here's first of all the proven frames you can only find in villages or buy from villagers. Now there's some other ones, and you're going to need some string and sticks and things for it. You probably got some spare sticks. I'll just use wood here. Alright, the first sort of really crappy frame here just takes 8 sticks and a piece of string. So just slap these in here, and you'll have some basic, really crappy frame. This is the untreated frame. It probably doesn't give hardly any bonus at all, and it doesn't last particularly long, so these things have a life to them. So you just stick whatever frame you got in here, just right here in any one of these 3 slots. Next is the more complicated but much better frame that gives you well, it's the impregnated frame pretty much. You're gonna need a carpenter with some seed oil in it, and here's the recipe: just 2 logs, and it'll squeeze out some seed oil, or well, get out of the way. It'll squeeze out some impregnated sticks. Oh yeah! Exactly how that happens, I do not know. Alright, and one of these days, okay, there we go. Just had to give it a little power. And there's some impregnated sticks. You're going to need 8 of them, pretty much. So, I left them in there. Alright, impregnated sticks, well, it works the same way as with the regular sticks and a piece of string. You get the impregnated frame. And this is much better. Gives better bonuses and things. I doubt if the bonuses are incredibly tremendous, but it's something. Now there's some other ones you can make. For instance, if I happen to have a spare frame. But wait, there's more! There's some other frames you can make too. I'm actually just going to make up a handful of frames and show off the different sorts. Where's my string? Okay, there we go. Now, I think all the rest of the recipes rely on an impregnated frame. So here we got a just clay balls around a frame, and we get a healing frame. I think that should be pretty obvious what that does. Just extends the life of the the queen a little bit. And here we have some cocoa beans, and that'll give you a chocolate frame. My guess is that makes them work like faster, probably. And see, we also have iron bars, and this should be a restraint frame because, like the bees that attack you, for instance, the tropical bees, they'll likely probably hopefully this will keep you from getting poisoned from them. You also have soul sand, and I have no freaking clue what a soul frame does, so I'm not going to make one right now. That's probably used on like Thaumcrafty bees or something from the nether, or I don't know, something horribly dangerous. So I'll play with that some other time. I'm not there yet. I haven't happened to find one of those particular hives yet. So I'm just going to slap in a couple of these here, and let's see what happens. So here's the forest queen, and it already produced a little bit of honey. And I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of these going. Okay, this lady here. See, apparently this queen got mated with a jungle drone at some point and refuses to accept regular flowers. So I'm just going to switch that out, see if I happen to have something appropriate. Because different bees from different biomes have to have certain flowers. For instance, the flower of the jungle queen is pretty much the what are they called? The vines, which is pretty weird. I'm going to try something a little different and slap in a Valiant. Oh, okay, here's the Valiant Princess, and let's just chuck in a Marble Drone for now, see what happens. So you can crossbreed these guys too, and that's how you end up with a whole bunch of other special weird bees over time. And while my bees are out doing their thing, birds and the bees sort of thing over there, let's whip out the centrifuge and some honeycomb and such, and we'll see what we happen to get out of all of these. There's a whole bunch of different sorts of comb you can get, and I don't have them all available, but I got a good 5 different types here, and we can just see if we happen to get anything. So here's your regular honeycomb, just from standard old bees. Most of the bees you get a hold of at first is just going to give you, regular honeycomb. So it gives you beeswax and honey drop. So that's pretty cool. Honey drop you're definitely going to need for the beealyzer. So let's take that out, and let's go ahead and slap in some cocoa combs. You can get these things off of some of the special bees, like the Valiant sort of bees. They'll give you cocoa combs. Sometimes they'll even give you sugar. So this will drop you some cocoa beans and beeswax, and every now and then it'll even drop some honey drops. So next up we got, let's try frozen, just real quick, see if it happens to give anything good. I've not actually squeezed any of the frozen yet, so I'm not sure what it'll get. Maybe it'll just give me water or something. Snowballs! That's funny. Well, that's one way to get a snowball, highly inefficient I'll say. Does it give me anything else? Oh, more snowballs for now. Oh, I got a little bit of honey out of it. That's okay. That's good. I don't have much parched comb, but let's see what it gives me anyway. These parched combs are from the, just from the desert bees. That's it. Okay, it gives me beeswax and honeycomb, or honey drops. I think these have a smaller chance to give you honey, so most of the time you just get wax out of it. Now here's the important ones to me, I think. The silky combs, these are given out by the jungle bees, and anything bred with a jungle bee, like the hybrids and stuff, they'll give you some silky comb. It gives you silky propolis, and honey drops and stuff. Now this propolis is highly useful. I believe, and I'm going to have to look it up and show it, that you can process the propolis and get silky wisps, and then you can upgrade your backpacks and make special bee clothing and stuff with it. Okay, a couple minutes of looking things up later, and seems like the silky propolis is simple. Just throw it right back into the centrifuge. And looks like some of them will just disappear, and some of them will give you silky wisps and regular propolis. I think that stuff has a handful of uses, but not too many. I think you can make slime balls out of them. And so I'm going to let that do its thing. Other things you can build, and this is something somewhat important anyway. Let's get a spare chest. I got like several half-empty or mostly empty chests around here, so I'm just going to break one of these. And I got, you can make a special chest. I've got a bunch of junk in this one. You can make a special chest just to hold all your bees. Now, it just takes a regular chest, some honeycomb here, and a piece of glass on top, and you get an apiaries chest. This thing's pretty nice. Get out of the way, you. And let's see, let's just grab some bees and slap them in there. Let's see what it happens to tell me. Alright, there we go. Huh. I'm not too sure exactly what all it's telling me here, but maybe it's all the different traits these things happen to have, or what they could mutate into. I'm not too sure. So I got 9 out of 135 species. That's quite a bit of different species you can get. Okay, I guess this is, I'm not really too sure what all I'm looking at here. Anyway, I know this thing can hold a whole bunch of bees in it. So, it's, helps you organize all your bees and stuff. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump out here and take a look at these. No, they're doing okay. Usually takes about a whole entire day or so for at least these limited life bees to, do their thing and die off and give you some new bees and stuff. So I'm just gonna slap this one back right back in there and see what happens. Okay, my Meadows is done, and I'm gonna take a Meadows drone and just breed it with a forest, see what happens. And my Valiant Queen gave me cocoa comb and sugar. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't have a whole lot of use for sugar, but especially since I got so much sugar cane, it's ridiculous. But it's something. Alright, so next we're going to take the beealyzer and take a look at some of these bees after I remove some of this junk from my inventory. Jeez. Alright, so beealyzer you got to stick on your hotbar, and you got to have some honey drops with you, or something like that. And you take the honey drops in the top slot, the bee you want to look at, and the question mark slot, and it'll move it down here, and it'll tell you things about your bee. So what we're looking at here is the, well, let's look at this column first. Species, it's a modest bee. This is pretty much the desert bee. Short lifespan, it's slow as hell. Pollinates slowly, okay. Wants cacti for its flowers, that's pretty cute. Fertility, it'll drop off 2 times whatever kind of bee you happen to have in there. Oh, this one's special. It's nocturnal. That's pretty cool. Sometimes you can find special bees. Area, I'm not too sure exactly what all that's saying. Maybe that's, the kind of flowers it's after in that particular size area. Has no special effect. Okay, let's just move this down to slot 2 and it'll tell you a little bit more. Well, actually, before we do, here's the inactive. That all looks the same to me. I don't know what all it's saying there. Alright, so it wants a hot climate. In other words, this thing's only going to live in the desert. It's really picky. And temperature, I guess it can go up or down 1. Some of them will not go up and down. They require desert only or something. Humidity tolerance, maybe. It might have some. It must have arid, more or less. So desert. Special, it's nocturnal. Flyer, who knows what that would mean. Cave means it needs a cave. That's weird. But this one does not have either of those. So, oh yeah, down here it also tells you how long you've had it in captivity, which is pretty cute. This thing can only produce, this thing was some sort of dried up comb of some sort. And this one doesn't have any specials. Next, possible mutations. Apparently it can't mutate into anything. You'd have to crossbreed the crap out of it first. So this is just a bunch of extra junk. Gives you some, info about the specific species if it happens to have any. Adopted. Not surprised. Oh, okay then. And then, whatever, if you really wanted to know something about the Latin or some crap of the bee. So we got a whole bunch of different bees in here we could look at, and after you've looked at a bee, it'll give you more information when you hover over it. If you haven't looked at one yet, it'll just say unknown. So downstairs here, I got some special bees too. Like, you can find all sorts of things. Some of these I bred, like this maroon queen, and some of them you can find in chests here and there, like these weird steadfast drones. So let's go ahead and look at this weird thing. Let's see, normal lifespan. Well, that's something or other. Uses flowers. Pretty much normal. It's nocturnal and wants to be in a cave. Okay, that's interesting. And this thing can only produce cocoa combs. Who knows what that mutates into? So this thing's, I believe, from the Atomic Bees expansion, and I also got more bees expansion as well. So, you got quite a bit of special bees to play around with. Like right here is the Rocky Bees. You can find these in a rocky hive that's like underground. I haven't tried to play with those yet. And this Maroon Queen I bred quite quickly by accident. So, yeah, there's quite a bit to play with here. Now, I know that if you just breed these bees around you randomly, you can eventually get a handful of like special bees out of it, and you would eventually explore a bunch of the all the different genius or special bees, or crossbreeds and things. But I know there's a special, specific sequence you can breed these things in if you know what the sequence is, to hurry it along and get a hold of all the different kinds of bees. I just heard the only one I know of so far is you had to breed a forest with a meadows, and I believe that's what this one did here. And it'll give you like a common bee, and then you breed that again with, I think, a forest, and you get something else. And that's all the further I've really gotten besides just throwing these things in here randomly. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tropical bees. Next to this beautiful volcano here, I've got some jungle hives set up here, and just takes your tropical queens and stuff, and they produce a bunch of silky comb after a while. And I got two of them over here because I want a bunch of the silky comb. Pretty much, let's go just take a look at these tropical queens. Oh crap! Oh crap! These guys are dangerous. They'll sting you and poison you and stuff. They're hostile. So here's a little bit of milk, and they'll just stop the poison. Sometimes they'll do that. So let's take a look at these guys. I'll just stick the queen up in here and let's see. Jungle flowers, which means vines, pretty much. Effect: poison. Ouch. They're hostile. Let's see. They want damp and warm climate. No special features on this one. And they'll only produce this silky comb. And they can be bred apparently with I think that's a modest bee, probably, or maybe that could be also a it might be a marble bee too, and I'm not too sure what that is. It's hard to tell these sort of bees just because of the color outline. And over here, just some other little general and hints and tips. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick this restraint frame on here, and I want to see if this does anything. I don't know if it'll prevent them from stinging the holy crap out of me or not. So far, I jump on it a little bit. oh crap! Nope. It doesn't. It does not entirely prevent things from happening. I was hoping it would prevent me from getting stung, but I guess not. Ow, the pain. Okay, over here in the Tiago, right on the edge of the rest of these biomes, near my town over there, I got another apiary set up here with Wintery Princess in it, and some drones and stuff, and get over here. Okay. And my frozen combs. So let's just go ahead and take a look at this wintry drone here real quick. And the beelizer. Slap you up here. Okay. Wintry. They're slow and don't live long. They still want flowers somehow. Okay. Well, I put down flowers anyway. Weird. I thought they might want just snow or something. And here it is. And it's freezing. Freezing, eh? Huh. Effect freezing. I wonder if they will eventually hurt me. Okay then, see, nothing special here. They like icy climates, normal humidity. They only produce the weird stuff. And nothing else special there. So these guys really don't like any other climates. They just like Tiagas. Now if you crossbreed them with other types of bees, you might be able to get them to enjoy other climates. But it can be a bit tough to get that to work right. Okay, back at the apiary area. Got this tropical queen. I'm just going to slap it in here. And strangely enough, it actually will live in this biome and with flowers too. Strange enough. And it is poisoning the holy crap out of me. Man, those things are vicious. Go away, you. So, I got quite a bit of different things in here. This is the one I had bred a Meadows with a forest drone, and it gave me a common princess. I think next up I need to probably breed that with one of these two. And let me look up, see which one it was. And it looks like it was either or, so whichever one I felt like doing. I don't know. Let's just take a quick look at these guys and see if one of them happens to have a special trait or something. Maybe one's better than the other. Slower. Okay, that's not too bad. What about you? Slower. Well, they look the same so far. Nothing special here. Nothing special here, so whichever one I felt like doing, pretty much. So let's just slap on the forest drone and see what happens. So, common with the forest, and hopefully this will give me something special. I believe it does after a while, but I'm going to have to wait on that and get another frame in here. Okay. My queen, after a while, decided they didn't have any flowers, so I guess I would have to grab some vines or something if I really wanted to put them in this biome. After breeding my common bees around for like 2 hours with various things, I finally got some cultivated bees, and I'm just going to stick this cultivated princess with a common drone. Maybe I'll get something pretty cool out of that. In other news, I randomly got maroon queens and bees again, and this one produced a maroon comb. I'm not really sure what that does. So I'm going to slap that thing in the centrifuge here and see what I happen to get. And, let's see, maroon drop. Okay, no idea. In other news, I finally got enough silk wisps from all the silky comb off of my I have now 4 apiaries full of jungle bees. So I can finally go and make some nice backpacks. That's going to be pretty cute. So, next up is, well, I guess I'll finish off the episode with some backpacks. I don't remember if I brought it up before or not, but the backpacks are used to hold specific materials. For instance, I have a digger's backpack that only holds things like dirt and cobble and gravel and stuff. And if you have a miner's backpack, which is what I'm going to show you, that thing only holds ore. And that way if you go mining, you can fill it up with a whole bunch of ore, and it only takes up 1 slot in your inventory. And I need a couple things for this. A couple iron ingots, a little bit of wood. Let's see, just 2 logs of wood here. And let's see. See if I happen to have any somewhere around in here. Yeah, here we go. Couple wool. And you need some string. That's not string. Somewhere there's string. 4 string. There we go. And over here, I'm just going to take my couple iron there. That's not string. String here. Oh, wait. Wood. Gotta do the wood first. Always gotta do the wood first. Why? Because you need the chest. Chest in the center. Then string. Then 2 iron. And a couple wool. And you got a miner's backpack. And since it's easier for me to show off how this thing works with a digger's backpack, since I've got a chest full of cobble right here, it's in normal mode right now, so if you go and mine stuff, it'll end up in the your backpack. And let me just go mine a little bit of stone real quick just to show. There's stone all over the floor here, so I'll just grab a piece like right there. And note the backpack's empty. I don't have any stone on me. I drop in. Oh, there's no stone here. It's in the backpack automatically. So that's pretty cool. And then if you want to use it on a chest, there's a couple different modes you can use. If I hold shift and right click, it'll lock. That way nothing will go in and out of the backpack unless you pull it out. You can shift right click again, and then it's in receiving mode. Let me see if I just shift right click on this chest here. It will fill up itself with whatever materials it can accept, which in this case is cobble. Shift right click again, and then shift right click on the chest, and now it's empty. It put all the junk in the chest. Sweet! So these are pretty nice to have. And so we're going to upgrade this backpack, but first I've got to, I think I had to do it in here. Take my silk wisps and whip out a little recipe here. Slap these in there, turn on some power, and it's going to take it a bit, but the 63 silk wisps is going to turn into 7 bits of this woven mesh, and then I've got to combine that with the backpack. Anyway, I thought this was kind of interesting. I got a little steam engine just sort of halfway hiding into the wall here, with you know, piece of stair right there, so you can still access it and see it a little bit. This is nice and well hidden there. So this is going to take a little bit. Woven silk. A couple minutes later, I got my 7 woven silk, and now to just put in as the recipe here. And I need my backpack in the center, and you're going to need a diamond there. So this will upgrade the backpack of your choice. Like, you just take whatever backpack you want and stick it in the center here, and it will automatically give you the correct backpack. And it's a bit expensive, and took me a couple hours of collecting that green stuff from those jungle bees. And so hopefully this will be well worth it, since it'll be an upgrade from 15 slots to 45. It's going to take it a bit. Behold! The woven miner's backpack, often coveted. This thing is huge. More than double your inventory space here. The only thing is, you can't put everything in here, but only certain things. You know, my emerald happens to fit, which is pretty cool. But I can throw all this stuff in there if I wanted. And so this thing is super useful, especially in this mod pack, because all the huge quantity of different ores there are. It fills up your inventory space super quick. So I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something cool. I'll see you next time. Later!